Welcome back to another awesome video. My name is Trey Herrera. Welcome back to the channel. So, that guy on the other side of the screen watching me, you want to be an automotive YouTuber. You think it's easy? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a good time. This is the truth about being an automotive YouTuber. Coming up. Bruh. So, you want to be an automotive YouTuber. You think it's a piece of cake. You think you could build the coolest ride, and you could think you could hella just grow a YouTube channel like nothing. It'll happen tomorrow like, bam, 1 million subscribers. But the truth is, it's not that easy. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. Now, before we get into it, I'm not trying to discourage any of you guys who are inspiring to be an automotive YouTuber. I think it's awesome. It's a good time. It can be stressful, but these are the ins and outs of what I go through on a regular basis. And I am not a big channel by any means, but I have a good little following. I'll just kind of give you the ins and outs of what I go through on a regular basis. There's a lot that goes into this stuff. It is not an overnight thing. If you play your cards right, you can make some money from it. It all depends on how much you're willing to do. So if you have a weak work ethic, this is definitely not for you whatsoever, because the grind is continuous. But for all my grinders out there who are hella willing to put in the work to get what they want out of life, this video is for you, because it could be very, very rewarding. One, because of the challenges you have with the channel. There's a lot of up and down on the channel itself, building an audience, keeping the audience, having consistent views. All of this stuff is very, very difficult to achieve and not to be discouraged about. Trust me, because I am a realist, I'm gonna tell you how I feel all the time. I've had some down days and I have some really good up days. There's some videos that did really, really good for me and that gave me a very, very good base for YouTube. And then there's some other videos that were just flops. I felt like the videos were good, but my audience didn't think so. So it is what it is. Content is easy when you're new, but when you have the same car for a long, long time, coming up with new content ideas or what you're gonna be doing is the difficult portion. Your first year is probably gonna be a piece of cake. You're gonna fly through that first year, no problem. And if you play your cards right, you have a decent little following after the first year. Second year is where you're gonna start really having to be more creative or doing cooler stuff or branching out. Second year is going to be where it's difficult. You've already established all the basics. Whether it's, I fitted my car, which I've already done that. I fitted my car with these wheels and stanced it out, whatever. I got coilovers for this car, cold air intake. You guys get the point. We straight pipe this exhaust, and those are all kind of examples of what kind of decent videos to do when you're first starting. After those videos are done, what do you do then? That's when you gotta think. You gotta think about stuff. You gotta be super creative. The other portion of this is, how hard are you willing to work? What are you willing to do? It's easy to bolt on cars. It's hard to fab stuff. You know, I'm learning firsthand. This car, you know, it was NA car, and I planned on keeping it NA forever when I first got it. You know, I didn't plan on going as far as I did, and you know, I'm super happy. I'm blessed about it, and I'm not mad whatsoever with any of the mods I've done to this car. This car is awesome. This is one of my favorite cars that I've ever owned. But going as far as I did is not necessarily for everybody. So that's where the content may differ a little bit for you and your audience, because you may only want a bolt-on car, or your budget only allows for a bolt-on car, so you have to come up with other content to fill the void. And that's when you don't want to become typecasted. Vlogging will give you more of the day-to-day, what you go through with the car stuff, or kind of having your friends behind you with their car builds, if they're into the similar stuff, or going to the events and showcasing what happens, because a lot of exciting things happen. If you're not a good vlogger, which will definitely transfer through in video, especially if you're camera shy, it'll definitely come through in video. Now, you ran out of ideas, and now you have to start vlogging. Because what do? How do you keep your audience engaged? Like, what are you gonna do to keep your audience engaged? For me, what I did was, I had always said I never planned on racing this car. It was only supposed to be a street car. I didn't really care. And then one day I went to the drag strip and I just tried it out. And I ended up having a blast. And then realizing that all of my friends go on a week-to-week basis made it to where I'm like, yeah, I'll drive it. And don't get me wrong, because my budget doesn't allow me to full on send like a lot of people do, I didn't send it as hard as I wanted to. But I was getting the content and driving the car, having a good time, seeing what the car would do in certain situations, learning as a driver myself. So that brings in a whole nother aspect of your personality, how you handle adversity, and also learning how to drive like you're actually going on a journey with your audience. This is what people don't realize in drag racing in general. So when you showcase this, people could relate to you a whole lot more. The good and bad part about that is if you're an insecure person and you can't handle critical comments, this is where you will get the most critical comments. I got a bunch, because driving on the street versus driving on the track is completely different, but you will definitely exploit what you're good and bad at. And you can't just, for me personally, I can't just show only good and me only accomplishing cool stuff, because that doesn't make my channel real. Which brings me to my third point. Now you find these issues, you break the car, whatever. Now you're spending money again to fix the car. And you gotta film all of this stuff, multiple angles, make it interesting, and make it informational for other people who are looking for this content on the internet to follow along and to understand how to fix their car because they had a similar issue to you. After a while of filming on the same car, you will kind of get tired of filming that car. And this is where another car comes into play. And this is where budget comes into play. Alright, you want to build a secondary car. Do you have the money for the secondary car? Can you maintain consistent consistency? Can you contain, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Let's just start this clip over. Can you maintain the content on the new car? Can you build something cool that everybody wants or that everybody thinks is cool? Can you handle filming and producing videos at least once a week, every week, for as long as you're doing YouTube? Now this all boils down right back to the grind. The people who are all about the hustle, all about putting in the work. Because if you cannot do this, this is definitely not for you. Automotive YouTubing is very, very difficult thing to do. It has tremendous highs, tremendous lows. You can make money, but you are gonna spend money. It is technically a business. If you're trying to make money from YouTube, you have to treat it as a business. So you're investing money on a consistent basis, whether that's in mods, parts, buying cars, going out to meet people to film videos. Maybe you're doing reviews. I do reviews here and there. Going to the track, which you're spending money on gas, or say you need to do a dyno, the car is unable to drive on the stock tune, so you have to trailer the car to the dyno shop and have it tuned and then have the dyno done. Like it's a bunch of things. It is possible. I am one to do it, and I don't do it on a very large budget. Have a limit for your budget. Don't go and try to break the bank trying to build some of these coolest cars that you see on the gram or on YouTube, because in all honesty you don't realize how long some of these people have been doing this stuff or been saving to do whatever you're seeing the final product as. Be patient, because this is not the easiest thing to grow at. It takes a lot, and it's a journey. When you're filming all this stuff, it's a journey. People see you from where you started to where you are now. I know if you guys have been following me for a long time, when I first started making GTO videos, I was super awkward on camera, even though that is not my personality in person. Me now, this is what you see now. I am a whole lot more comfortable in front of the camera than I used to be, and I don't mind filming. You guys will have to get over people being awkward in front of the camera, especially your friends, family, or whoever you decide to have in your videos. And if you're not willing to put in the work, it's not for you, because it's very easy to get burnt out. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, don't do it. Just being honest. If you only halfway like mods, it's cool. Just only mod your car. You don't have to film videos on it. But if you really like it, you feel like you can, give the world something that you learn, definitely send it. Go for it. If you do a lot of cool stuff and you could portray that through video and you could kind of include the audience with it, go ahead and do it. With that being said, I'm Trey Herrera. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this kind of helped you, give you a little bit of insight on what we go through on a day-to-day basis. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's keep moving forward.